Okay. Well, hello everyone, and thanks so much for coming. My name is Sean Bigler, and my wife and I, we live in Boyceville. We have since 2008, and we are part of a group who came together to organize this event. So most of you who are here have some questions and concerns about the proposed Scenic Byway plan along Route 28. Various drafts of the Byway plan and the Olive Comprehensive Plan have generated, as you know, a certain amount of controversy. And so, with that being said, we welcome people from all perspectives and all opinions concerning the Byway. So because of the controversy generated, we thought we'd invite a nationally known expert on property rights to help put our Scenic Byway plan into more of a national perspective. So I'm going to read her bio. Her name is Rosa Corre. ASA is the Executive Director of the Post-Sustainability Institute. She is a commercial real estate appraiser specializing in eminent domain valuation. Her nearly 30 years as an expert witness analyzing land use and property value in her position as San Francisco District Branch Chief for the California Department of Transportation enabled her to recognize the planning revolution sweeping the country. While fighting to stop a huge redevelopment project in her city, she researched the corporate, political, and financial interests behind it and found something called UN Agenda 21. Impacting every aspect of our lives, UN Agenda 21, Sustainable Development, that's the full name, is a corporate manipulation using the green mask of environmental concern to forward a globalist plan. Rosa speaks across the nation and is a regular blogger on her website, democratsagainstunagendA21.com. Her new book, Behind the Green Mask, Agenda 21, is available at Amazon.com, on her website, and here tonight at the table. Earlier this month, Rosa was a speaker at an international conference on global governance that included President Václav Klaus of the Czech Republic, as well as Prime Minister John Howard of Australia. She has been on the East Coast speaking tour and arrives here from New Hampshire, where she was invited to address the New Hampshire legislature. Also, a couple days ago, weren't you on WBAI in New York, 99.6? Rosa, will assist us in placing the Catskills Scenic Byway into the larger context of global governance and help us to recognize UN Agenda 21, Sustainable Development here in New York. And with that, I would like to introduce Rosa Corre.
Great. I'm so impressed with myself. Don't I sound great? You know what? It really has been quite an incredible time traveling across the nation, because we have a huge country and we're really isolated from one another, and we don't really realize what's going on. And the impacts of United Nations Agenda 21 Sustainable Development are felt parcel by parcel and town by town. So, when we have large separation between our friends and our neighbors and our towns, it's difficult to recognize that what's happening to us is in fact happening to everyone. So that's one reason why I'm here, is to kind of help us all, see, it's the hair thing, sorry, just kind of help us all put this into perspective and recognize how, it's not just the Catskills Scenic Byway. In fact, there are literally thousands of miles of scenic byways in the United States. So I want to tell you now, whether you're I happen to be a liberal Democrat. But whether you're a liberal or a Democrat or a Republican or libertarian or whatever it is that you are, you're going to recognize that this is not a partisan issue. That what we're talking about is an American issue. It's an American problem. And you're going to find yourselves deeply at odds by and very much concerned by the agenda for the 21st century. That is why it's called Agenda 21. It's not Area 51. It's not Catch 22. It's the agenda for the 21st century, and that's what it's called by the United Nations and the world. So when you hear that term, and you might read, for instance, you'll read it in the Huffington Post, or you might read in Mother Jones how people who are talking about this have a black helicopter over their head or a tinfoil hat. That is a disinformation campaign. So we're going to talk about that, and I hope that when you have completely heard me out, you're going to be on board with dealing with the incredible impact that this is having in our country. So I'll tell you what it is. Let's just start with what is Agenda 21. It's a blueprint. It is the action plan to inventory and control all land, all water, all plants, all animals, all minerals, all construction, all means of production, all energy, all information, and all human beings in the world. Pretty comprehensive, right? This impacts every aspect of your life. I'm going to try and change where this is because it's going to feed back, I think. Oops. This is where we do a commercial for the Catskills or something. Okay, how's that? Off, probably. Is that better? Okay. All right, let's see how that works. So here's what this is. Now, I want you to recognize the seriousness of this. This is not, and I also want to say, I'm an expert witness. I just retired. For the 30 years of my career, I have been accustomed to testifying, whether I'm in deposition or in court. I'm a researcher, and everything that I'm accustomed to being able to defend myself in a courtroom situation. And everything that I'm going to talk about today is true. I'm not talking about, these are not my opinions. This is fact. If I'm speculating or giving you my opinion, I'll let you know. But otherwise, this is sourced documents in the source, where they're coming from, in the sources. So what we're talking about here is an inventory and control plan. It's a transition from representative government to government by unelected boards and commissions. It's an erasure of our jurisdictional boundaries. It's a loss of sovereignty and property rights. It is a loss of our freedom. So obviously you're going to be concerned about this not just as Americans, but as free human beings. And you should be. And this is a nonpartisan issue. United Nations Agenda 21, Sustainable Development, was signed onto in 1992 by 179 nations, including the United States, at the United Nations Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. George H.W. Bush committed the United States to implementing sustainable development, and it's been supported by every president ever since. It's a global plan, but it's implemented locally. So, United Nations Agenda 21, Sustainable Development, is the biggest public relations scam in the history of the world. But it's far more than that. The agenda for the 21st century is a recipe for destruction. And it justifies and enables monitoring and metering and restricting our energy and water usage through smart meters, instituting a carbon tax on industry, pulverizing our roads and destroying our dams, or in some cases, creating dam situations that create havoc in our areas where we're actually being moved out of our rural and suburban homes. Sinking our economy, exhausting our military with endless war, diagnosing a huge portion of our population with mental illness and drugging us, bleeding our transportation budget with high-cost trains to nowhere, revamping our school system with sustainable development principles from pre-kindergarten all the way to postgraduate school, declaring our public lands off limits to humans, changing every land use document in the nation to require high-density housing in city centers to more easily control us, monitor us, and surveil us. It allows for warrantless searches and domestic surveillance, allows for us to be identified as potential enemy combatants, and it redefines torture. You know, if an enemy was trying to destroy us, it couldn't do a better job. This is an erection of a corporatocracy. We're talking about global governance. It's a global totalitarian state, and it's happening now. And it doesn't come with flashing lights, and it doesn't come with titles, and you're not going to see it called Agenda 21. You're going to see it called Catskill Scenic Byway, and many other things. So, there's an overarching political and social philosophy that goes with this plan. And it's communitarianism. Now, communitarianism says that it balances the individual's rights with the rights of the community. So, you know, we are Americans. We have our individual rights guaranteed to us, but not granted to us by our Constitution. We were born with our individual rights: life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. But under communitarianism, those rights have to be balanced with the rights of the community. Now that could be right here, this community. It could be the larger state, region community. It could be the global community. And that is often what it is, the global community, the amorphous community. What are the rights of the community? They are undelineated. They can change at any time. But yet they are supposed to be balanced with the rights of the individual. So when you balance the rights of the community with the rights of the individual are always going to be like a feather. And the community's rights are going to be like a brick. They're always going to outweigh the individual's rights. So I like to use this visual because I think it really brings it home. So let's think about this. We got two clear glasses here. One is a clear glass of water. That's your constitutional republic. Okay, that's what we have here in the U.S., constitutional republic. Now we've got over here a clear glass of milk, and that's a communitarian state. It's all for the common good. Nazi Germany, communist Russia, communist China. Those are communitarian states. So that's your milk. So now you're going to take a glass pitcher. You're going to balance these. You're going to put your glass pitcher down here. You're going to take your water, your constitutional republic, and you're going to balance it with your communitarian state. You're going to pour them together. What do you have? You got milk, right? You have balanced your individual rights with the rights of the community. They have been subsumed into the rights of the community, the greater good. The individual always loses when the individual's rights are balanced with the rights of the amorphous community. So the UN Agenda 21 is dependent on the Hegelian dialectic. And that says, that's basically that a crisis is created and then a solution is posed. And sort of the balance between the two becomes the new normal. Now that's something you never would have agreed to if it hadn't been for this crisis. Okay? So what's our crisis? What's our big crisis that we're dealing with? Global warming. Climate change. Okay? It's real serious. The planet's in danger. Sea levels are rising. Life forms are threatened. There's no time to lose. Part of communitarianism is creating a climate, a feeling of stress, that you must respond immediately, that you have to react.